my channel. I know I have a tendency of disappearing, but I do have a logical explanation. Y'all know I always have an explanation, but that is not for this video. That's for another video. Anywho, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Danae. I am a mother of 2 boys, and I'm currently pregnant with baby boy number 3. As you could tell by the title, I know you guys are probably like, finding out you're pregnant, well duh, all you do is take a test and boom, you found out you're pregnant. But no, my journey was much more complicated than that, and as I was searching on YouTube, I couldn't really find anything or anyone to relate to my story. Or I found someone, I thought I found someone, but then I'm like, no, they don't really relate to my story. So I went back and forth about sharing my own story and decided to share it anyway, because I know that there may be someone out there currently going through what I went through, who is trying to conceive and who needs someone to relate to for hope in their future. And when you pray and you don't give up, there is a light beyond that dark tunnel. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop rambling and let's get straight into this video. Long story short, I was on an IUD, the Mirena to be exact, IUD for about, I'll say not even a year, I want to say, or maybe 2 years. I was on a Mirena, or a year and a half. I don't know, guys. I don't have the exact dates at this moment, but I know I was on it for a while, and I was one of those people that get a period faithfully every month. I bled for 7 days, normal bleeding, wasn't really much clotting or whatever. The entire time I was on a Mirena IUD. Well, actually, after I got on a Mirena because I was getting Depo, and I didn't like the way Depo-Provera shot me, my body feels, so that's why I got the IUD. Everybody's saying all these great reviews, like, oh, they feel great, they don't get no periods or whatever, blah blah blah. And you know, of course, I'm one that always get a period, and my periods are like super heavy. TMI. I'm sorry if you're really queasy about stuff like this, girl talk, you can exit this video because this is not for you. But I'm just being real. But yeah, that's the reason why I got on Mirena. So I'm like, yes, I'm finally not gonna get a period. No, that was not my case. Fast forward, Annie and I have always talked about having another child someday. So I thought, you know, when Cassius turned 3, right before he turned 4, I thought it was time, you know. He was fine with it, I was fine with it, and I'm like, okay, let me give myself some time, let my body get back to normal, because you know, when you're on birth control, your body is just, it's a lot of extra hormones in your body taking over. Your body needs to cleanse itself when you get that birth control out of you. So anyway, here's my story. This is what I was going through for the past 5 months, y'all. To each his own, but I would never get back on birth control ever again. And here's the reason why. January 8th, I decided to have my IUD removed, okay? Overall, I was sick of it. I wanted to feel normal. I didn't feel normal. My hormones were still all over the place. The weight was like up and down. I didn't want nothing added in my body. The doctor explained to me what happened to my body after I had my IUD removed. Your body goes through a period where you still release and everything, but you know, you can't get pregnant or whatever. But your body now has to shed all of that lining, that buildup from the IUD, from your birth control. She said there will be a period where I will bleed a significant amount of time, but not the amount of time that I actually bled for. That was abnormal. Anyway, so January 10th, I started bleeding. I bled for around 12 days, and it was normal. Like, it was a normal period. It wasn't clotty. It wasn't super heavy. I wasn't leaking through pads and stuff. I was okay. I can deal with that. I'm like, oh, okay. This is what she was talking about. This is called the bleed out. So I'm like, okay, I'm having my bleed out. Hopefully next month I should be regular. Here comes February 4th. I think this is my actual period. I bled for 7 days this time. It was regular once again. It wasn't no, you know, I mean, it wasn't no like heavy clotting, or, you know, I wasn't bleeding through pads and stuff like that. Now, my period, I think that was my period, went off February 11th to the 28th. I had no bleeding. I was, I guess, normal, regular or whatever. March 3rd through the 22nd, I spotted the entire time. It was light spotting, but I spotted every single day from the 3rd to the 23rd. The 22nd. I had to wear a panty liner every day from the 3rd to the 22nd. So I see my doctor about that, because I'm like, okay, why am I spotting this entire month? Spotting, that means pregnancy, right? And at this time, I started tracking my ovulation, like with an app, and I ordered like a bunch of ovulation strips and stuff like that, and it would tell me when I was ovulating. And of course, I'm not gonna tell y'all my business, but anyway, so I thought maybe I was pregnant and it just wasn't showing up. So my doctor ordered like blood tests, and negative. She checked me and she's like, maybe your body's still trying to get back on track or whatever. And I'm like, okay. She's like, give it a few more weeks. March 23rd through the 27th, I spotted a little heavier than usual. This wasn't like normal spotting, like light, you can wipe. No, I had to actually wear a pad. It wasn't a period, but I was spotting like a little heavier than a spot. Y'all know what I mean. So I had to wear a pad. And on the 24th, I actually passed my first clots. 2 little small clots, but they looked kind of strange. They weren't like, I examine stuff that come out of my body, y'all. I'm sorry. That's just me. Especially with all that I was going through. So I wanted to know. I was curious so that I can tell my doctor. They were like fleshy and like tissuey. They look like, So I tell my doctor, I call her or whatever, and she's like, okay, she's explaining to me that's just the lining shedding and my body's trying to get back on track, blah, 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 whatever. I'm sorry to say that, but it was the same thing. It was kind of repetitive every time I told my doctor what was going on with my body. March 29th to April 10th. No bleeding. No bleeding or spotting at all. So I'm like, what is going on with my body? I'm so confused. Now at this point, I'm on YouTube trying to find somebody that I can relate to my story. I don't know, like maybe a few people, but their story was still not as relatable, but I took some of their advice. Nothing. So I'm back at my doctor. I think I had another appointment at this point. No, I didn't have an appointment. I think I made an appointment after this situation. So from April 11th to April 25th, I started bleeding uncontrollably. Mind you, from March 29th to April 10th, I had nothing. No bleeding, no nothing. And then the next day is just out of nowhere, like I'm soaking through everything. I can't even go out in public. And if I do go out in public, I need to get to a restroom because the clots were so big. They were so massive. Oh. They were so big coming out. You could feel them coming out. And I'm sorry, y'all, TMI, but I'm trying to help somebody. I'm trying to be as real as I possibly can, because I know there's somebody that is going through this and that needs somebody to be real with them and tell them what they went through, what they're going through, and offer some advice and some help with how they, overcame the situation. But the clots were so big, y'all. I soaked through so many pads in a day. At this point, I had it. I went to my doctor. I made an emergency appointment, And she's like, okay, at this point, your IUD, the hormone, is out of your body. It has been out of your body since March. It doesn't take that long for the hormone to, because it's not even a strong dose hormone. It's a low something, she explained to me. And I'm just like, well, what is going on? She's like, this is your body. This is your own body doing this. And I said, how? I've been on birth control before. I've been on a depot. Yeah, this is my first time being on an IUD, but I've been on depot longer. And when I stopped taking depot to get pregnant with my son, my second son, I didn't even have to go through this. Yes, it was a little bit longer for me to conceive, but I didn't go through any of this. She's like, I don't know what to tell you. She's like, at this point, you know, we're just gonna start. We're gonna take some more blood, do some more blood work, because I think she said she thought that maybe I might have had fibroids, and she wanted to check and see if I had a cyst on my ovaries or something. Or she did all that, the steps, the necessary steps that doctors take. And then she prescribed me with a medication. I forget the name of the medication, but I had to take 1 pill a day. I started taking the 1 pill a day. I was, at first I was against it, but at this point, I was in tears because I couldn't go nowhere. But I was stuck in my house. I couldn't go nowhere. Like, literally, that's how heavy my bleeding was. So anyway, I started this pill that she started me on to stop the bleeding. I'll insert the name in the description box below. 1 time a day did nothing for me. I think I stopped, as soon as I started taking the pill, I may have stopped bleeding the next day. And then the following day, I started bleeding again. So I called her. I'm like, this is not working for me. I'm still bleeding. She's like, okay, well, it's okay to up the dose to 2 times a day. So 1 pill in the morning and 1 pill at night or something like that, or 1 pill at dinner time. I'm like, I saw a difference. Okay, it's like the bleeding stopped for maybe 2 to 3 days. 3 days. Then it was right back. That was it. It didn't even stop. It maybe lightened up. The clotting lightened up. And then it was like, oh girl, you shouldn't have took them pills, because now we gonna get you back full force. I just was like, I broke down because I bled the entire month of May. The entire month of May. From April 11th to the 25th of May. Oh, no. I bled to the 25th of May. But, you might as well say the entire month. I bled that long. Like, y'all. I've been bleeding, even if it was light, I've been bleeding from March to May. Spotting included, I still say that's bleeding. I scheduled an appointment with my doctor again, because at this point I had enough. I was fed up. I needed to know what was wrong with me. She said all my blood work came back normal. I didn't have anything on my uterus. I didn't have anything wrong with me internally. So at this point, I'm just like, I had enough. Like, I'm fed up. And she sat me down and she's like, okay, I want to explain this to you. Sometimes this happens to people. And I'm just looking at her and I'm thinking she's going to give me something. She's got something for me, some better information, something I could do. This woman tells me that I might need to see a specialist. Y'all, I know it's possible at a young age, but I'm like, I'm really going through all of this because I was on birth control. I just broke down and started crying. I just broke down because I'm like, I gotta see a fertility specialist. She didn't tell me, she wasn't blunt, like, I can't help you anymore. She was just like, you can see it in her eyes, she felt for me too. And everything in her scope of practice, she tried to help me. You know what I mean? She tried to help me. And I'm just like looking at her like, I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm going through this. I went home and I just melted. I melted. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So I got back on YouTube. I'm telling you, you can't give up. There is somebody out there always. There's always that one person that you can relate to. I cannot, I saved her channel. I think I saved her channel. If I did, I will put her in the description box below. She said that she was going through the same issue, and her doctor, she was trying to conceive, her and her husband, her fiance, and she just came off her birth control, Mirena IUD. And by the grace of God, I came across her channel. She said she was prescribed the same medication as me. Everything. She said everything that I was going through, she basically said in her video. Then all of a sudden she said that, you know what? Here I am adding more drugs into my body to try to stop something. You know, I forget her exact words, but she said she stopped taking the medicine. She stopped taking the medicine and she started taking iron pills. I was just like thinking to myself, you stopped the medicine and started taking iron pills and that helped you? She said automatically just stop bleeding. She stopped bleeding within a week and that was it. Why didn't my doctor tell me to take iron pills? I tried it, y'all, because at this point I didn't know what to do. I tried herbal teas. I tried everything. Don't you know? After taking iron pills, I stopped bleeding. The last few days of May, I stopped bleeding. Y'all know how fast I threw them pills in the trash? The ones that's supposed to stop me from bleeding? I threw them in the trash so fast. Because I literally went through hell this entire month. Well, few months, whatever. Bleeding and clotting. And all I had to do was take iron pills because my body was low on iron. Or iron pills, iron does something to your blood. And y'all, I praise God like never before. Anyway, fast forward. I'm cleaning my kids. This is in June. Yeah, June. I'm cleaning my son's room. I'm jamming to my music. Then I think I bent down and stood up real fast. I was normal, like, you know, I did that being regular. But this particular day, I bent down really fast and stood up, and I just felt so sick to my stomach. So something in my mind was like, girl, go take a test. You ain't pregnant, but just go take a test for fun. I went in the bathroom and I got a test, and I'm just like, as I'm going in the cup, I'm just like, man, I'm doing this for nothing again. Like, after all I just went through, I'm just like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? So as I'm talking trash to myself, I dip the stick. I get up, wash my hands, leave the bathroom. I'm like, I'm not pregnant. I'm just moving too fast. I'm overexerting my body. So curiosity, I can't let stuff go. So of course I went right back to that bathroom. Y'all, when I saw that test, it was positive. The test was positive. How? I mean, of course I know how. We all know how, but like, so I conceived in May. The reason I'm assuming I conceived in May is because the beginning of July, maybe the first 2 days of July, I went to the ER and they told me I was 6+ weeks. My doctor, we still don't know. Like, sometimes I'm still lost for words because I really don't know. How did I still conceive going through all of that? I was pregnant, y'all. So of course I calls my cousin, screaming and hollering like, I'm pregnant. I'm crying. I'm like, I'm pregnant. She's like, what the heck? We all like, because of course I shared my story with my cousin, like what I was going through, whatever. And my closest girlfriend. And till this day, y'all, I still don't, how? If anyone out there went through something similar to what I went through, please comment, share your story with me, because I still don't know. All I know is that God blessed me with this baby, because my body did the most from the day I got this IUD out. But yes, I'm still shocked. I still don't know. My doctor, and then when I called my doctor, I waited, because I'm the type of person that I took a million tests. Not a million tests, I'm exaggerating, but I took at least 5 tests because I didn't believe it over a few days. When I finally called my doctor, I got in for the visit, and she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, and she's like, she wanted to say WTF so bad. I know she did. And she's like, we just staring at each other, and she just hugged me. Like, she's like, I can't believe this. She's like, we just started, I don't know. It was a weird, but yeah, joyous moment. Cause like she didn't understand. That was the first time that ever happened. She dealt with something like that. Y'all, that's crazy. But that is my story. I wanted to share this because I felt like it was a unique experience that I went through, just in case someone else may be going through or having the same issue and needed somebody to relate with, somebody real. It took me a long time to share this story. I should have been shared it, but anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. That's all I can say, because I talk a lot. I talk a lot, y'all. I talk too much, and I ramble on about certain things, and I shouldn't. So I was trying to get straight to the point, but I had to tell you guys what happened from the beginning. I had to tell you, because if I would have told you, it wouldn't have made sense. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for sticking around and continue to rock with your girl. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I help someone. Love you guys as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.